What is going on, and welcome to Vinyl Happy Hour. I am Skyler Davis, owner of Culture Shock Clothing and Records here in Rockford, Illinois, and of CultureShockShop.com, where you can find most of these records that I'm talking about tonight, as long as they're still available. But don't wait too long, because a lot of the records we're featuring tonight are limited releases or limited edition or indie store exclusives like this one. The other interesting dynamic about the records we're featuring tonight for Vinyl Happy Hour are, like I noticed, half of them are brand new releases and half of them are reissues of older or classic albums. So that's one interesting thing. The other really interesting thing, which I'm waiting to show these as the final albums, there's only 6 albums here, is that I feel like I might have found my album of the year. And maybe, I mean, this sounds crazy to think that in this short time I found 2, but I might have 2 album of the year contenders here. So I want to talk about those at the very end. But first, let's get right into it. This is a reissue of the 2001 El Nino Nu Metal Classic Revolution. This is like a clear kind of green vinyl with some yellow splatter. This is the first time that it has been on vinyl. As you know, a lot of stuff from, like, let's say 2001 when this came out was CD, cassette heavy. This band was pretty crazy, pretty intense. If you've ever missed seeing them live, you missed out on a great show. I actually got to see El Nino a whole bunch of time with a bunch of friends. I think they played with Hatebreed, Kitty, American Head Charge, Lamb of God. Like, I don't know. I saw them with so many tours and so many bands. For some reason, these guys showed up in the Midwest of the United States for some reason on a ton of shows. Very new metal, though, for sure. I mean, extra drums and congos and bongos and everything going on. They definitely had that crossover appeal from Soulfly and Sepultura to anything like Stained and Slipknot, even things like that. So this is a Real Gone Music. This was a Roadrunner release, but Real Gone Music has done a really cool job, the label Real Gone Music, of releasing a lot of rare records, especially some kind of 90s and 2000 items. I forgot the number. Oh, it says right here. Let me look. Let me read. So this is a 1,500 copies, dark green with yellow splatter, the vinyl debut. So yeah, this is definitely the first time this has ever been available on vinyl. So check it out. We are also sharing in the link below. If you go to, that'll take you to the staff picks, which are the records I'm showcasing here on this Vinyl Happy Hour. You can find those if they're still available for sale on our website at CultureShockShop.com. This is a new release, an indie store exclusive. Again, this is a very strange release. The first time I've ever seen a band do something like this. This is the new King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. What a mouthful. This is their Butterfly 3000 album. But this is an indie store exclusive, and it just keeps getting crazier. This is their 17th album already. I mean, this band isn't that old. Australian, right? Yeah, they're an Australian band. Most of their albums have been kind of more garage rocky, pop rock, psychedelic rock, stuff like that. This release is the first one on their very own label. It comes in this paper bag. It's like recycled materials, so it's like, you know, not wrapped in shrink wrap or plastic. But as you can see from the lettering here and stuff like that, I believe, I don't remember. This might be the Mandarin release. So the really weird, interesting thing they're doing with this new indie store exclusive of their Butterfly 3000 album is a different country release or a region release or, you know, language release. There's like a Russian one, there's a Thai one, a Mandarin one, a Chinese one, a Japanese one, a Russian one. It's pretty crazy. So, and some of them are on different colored vinyls. You can see this one is on yellow vinyl, and each one not only has a different sticker for the bag on the outside, but it carries over to the language on the center label and everything. But to talk about the music on this new King Gizzard album, this is a lot different. They have done a lot of experimental stuff in the past. They've even branched out to a little bit of thrash, a little bit of jazz. Even though it's their 17th album, like, let's keep in mind that they probably put out 10 albums in like a 2-year time frame. To try all these different sounds. This one has an electronic feel. A new wave electronic. I mean, a lot of arpeggiated electronics and keyboards and stuff like that, almost in a Kraftwerkian way. Very dancey and poppy in some parts even. But it still has their kind of, that psychedelic background that you know them for. So at the core, you can still tell it's a King Gizzard album. But I just thought that was really interesting that their indie store exclusives are all like different language versions of it. It's obviously the same album, though. It's not, they didn't sing them in different languages or anything. It's just the packaging and everything like that has different featured languages. Never seen a band really do that with that many countries. I've seen bands do like, oh, maybe a Spanish or a Japanese release or something like that. But these guys went all out. I should have counted before I did this video, of course, how many different ones they did. But there's a whole bunch of different ones. So indie store exclusives, I don't know how many they're releasing of each different language style one, but just great artwork. It's a cool album too. Definitely worth checking out. I'm going to get into this much later. I mean, actually the box set for the Black Album isn't even here yet. I do want to mention though that tomorrow we are releasing the 30-year anniversary of Metallica's Black Album, fully remastered. We've got the Black Album on vinyl, cassette, CD, and there's a big old fat mega box set that has all sorts of live albums, lanyards, picture discs, DVDs. It's a mega box set. So I want to do a special Vinyl Happy Hour unboxing video for that Metallica box set when that is ready. I just want to mention that we've got that, and you should come in and check it out or pick it up on our website. We can get them mailed out to you right away, or you can choose in-store pickup. Of course, we've been talking about a lot of jazz this year, especially since right before the pandemic began, 2019, I think Blue Note started doing some of their analog, like the 80th anniversary of the Blue Note record label, started releasing a lot of their classic albums and some stuff that had been out of print for a while. This one, it's not technically a new release. We actually had a couple sneak in January of this year. Now it's already September, I know. Anyway, so we finally got more back in stock, though. It's taken that long to get them repressed. This is the Horace Silver Quintet, Song for My Father. Also with the great pianist. He was part of the Jazz Messengers, of course, stuff like that. So a lot of these are like just great hard bop anthems that he made, he wrote, and they played together. Horace Silver on piano, Joe Henderson sax, Teddy Smith bass, Carmel Jones on trumpet. These are some hard bop classics. These were from a couple sessions, so you also get him working with Blue Mitchell, Gene Taylor, Roy Brooks. Just some great songs, though. This is one, if you haven't heard this one, by the way, this is part of the Blue Note Classic series, now they're calling it. This is fully analog mastered, nice thick 180 gram vinyl. This is a hard bop classic, though, so anybody who's up with, you know, Art Blakey's Moanin' or even Miles Davis' Birth the Cool, some other stuff like that, this should be a staple in your jazz, you know, collection. So check this out, please. A lot of these are great. There's also the Tone Poet series, which is the thicker jacket gatefold, also analog series too. So these are great audiophile jazz pieces of some rare stuff that honestly you just probably aren't going to find originals of. It's getting so tough. I do want to mention though, September 25th, we are celebrating our 15-year anniversary for Culture Shock. So I have these cool little Culture Shock magnets, if you can see that. If you place an order for us, for anything that's in stock anyway, just say happy anniversary in the comments or in the notes on your order, and we will throw in some Culture Shock swag for you and make sure you get hooked up with something cool. That's going on all the way through the month of September. So anything that's in stock, do that. Pre-orders may not work because sometimes we do have our pre-order shipped direct from the label or something, so they get to you quicker. So for anything in stock, just say happy anniversary, and we'll make sure you get some sort of cool slip mats, magnets, stickers, something from Culture Shock. We'll hook you up. So we're really happy to be celebrating our 15 years in business. And I do want to keep moving on in this video though real quick. We'll have more to talk about our anniversary month and some other things coming up here. This is the new album from Low. Hey What? This could be my album of the year. I've only had a day or two to really take this in. This album, and it's on Sub Pop. I think most of their albums are on Sub Pop. This is Low's, trying to count them up here, I think 16th album. So they've been around quite some time. Geez, probably 25 years or so. Really cool gatefold on this too. I actually, it's got all these crazy lines on it, which this kind of lined looking minimal art and stuff like that really goes well with the sound of this band. Hard to explain. It's just a duo. They take this experimental approach to all of their sounds and just really wind them and twist them. There is some noise involved. I mean, they can be kind of considered an experimental shoegazy band, an electronic experimental band. There's some pretty interesting textures to their songs. I mean, and these can hark from even like a fan of Radiohead or even Nine Inch Nails maybe or something like that. There's some pretty interesting dynamics to the music here. and you just really have to soak it in and let take it all into your head. It's a very interesting album. I've loved many of their albums, but this is a deep album, and it's kind of dark actually too. I almost mixed up deep and dark. Either one would work. The Low was actually stuck on the shrink wrap. I took it off, saved it, and stuck it right on the jacket. I thought it was cool. It's lined the opposite way, so it kind of just blends in with the jacket. But Sub Pop is also doing really great affordable albums. This is a nice thick gatefold actually with a printed inner sleeve. Great sounding album. That is also available if you head right now to the staff pick section on our website at cultureshockshop.com. Anyway, this is definitely going to be in contention for my album of the year. That's Low's Hey What. The next one I'm super geeked about though. This is a lot different, but it has some similarities even. I love the little sticker too that came with it. It says band, Turnstile, album, Glow On. This is the new Turnstile album, Glow On. And it comes in this really cool kind of slip jacket, cardboardy thing. On the outside of the gatefold inside, just very pink clouds, very kind of a very interesting album. I knew it was going to be a weird album from the look of the album cover right away. I was like, this is a little different for a hardcore band to be doing this kind of plain pink album. Again, this is nothing crazy fancy for the vinyl. It is just, on Roadrunner Records, which is kind of interesting because so is the El Nino piece. And, that kind of makes sense because nu metal has been coming back for years. It almost never went away for some of us diehards who do like nu metal. It never went away. But now it's cool again. These kids are young. Turnstile, their last album was just more of a hardcore album for sure. This new one, they take a lot of experimentation on this. It's a pretty short album, but just as long as it needs to be. They cross over into some interesting experimental ambient indie rock, shoegaziness. Definitely almost like sometimes I swear to God I hear 311 or something like that in this kind of 90s throwback sound. But for more of the hardcore sound, which they still do have a hardcore sound, even though it's more experimental, definitely elements of Snapcase, maybe even Refused. If those are drawing any names for you that you remember or liked, you should definitely check out this band Turnstile. We saw them a few years ago, kind of on earlier in the day at Riot Fest. They were really cool. I wasn't right up front. It was a long day with a lot of music going on. If I was at their show, I probably would have gotten way more into it. But now I'm a big fan of the band because of this album. Their last album was really good too. A lot more hardcore. This is definitely going in my top 10, maybe even one of my top picks for this year, 2021 for sure. And this might even float on into one of my long-term favorite albums. I don't know. I can't tell yet. I've listened to it many times already. Oh God, there's even some keys and stuff, some like electronics and keyboards and stuff going on. Just some weird stuff you wouldn't usually get with a hardcore band. Not that they're the first hardcore band to do that or anything. I'm certainly not saying that. I'm just saying it's a hell of a great album. I've been enjoying it, and I'm going to keep spinning it for sure. That's my vinyl happy hour for the week, though. We just like to feature a handful of new albums and indie store exclusives every week for Vinyl Happy Hour. There's so many more records that I could have talked about or shown off, so please check our website, and if you live here, come in and check out the store. We're open 11 to 6, Tuesday through Saturday. We would love to see your faces, see your excitement as you dig through the bins, and anybody else who's ordering online, get your orders in because things are selling out quickly. Vinyl is definitely happening. It's a thing. I've noticed like every store, every website, everybody's trying to jump on this bandwagon. So please support your local and independent shops like Culture Shock. We really appreciate the business. We love making videos to talk to you about our music. We love showing you records in the store, and we love doing what we do. So we will see you soon for another video, and watch for my Metallica Black Album unboxing too. Take care.